Ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome to co-chairs of Board of Directors of Amway, Steve Van Andel and Doug DeVos.
Congratulations. Everyone here set a goal, they achieved it, and you're here. 9,000 people.
All right.
In fact, there's a very special group here that all achieved new pins this year. Anybody that achieved a new pin, stand up, take your scarf, and wave it.
Let's see you.
Stand up.
Stand up. Let's see. Wave around. All the new pins, all the new qualifiers. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Well, we have another special group that's with us tonight. I know they're sitting down somewhere out in front of us because I know my wife Amy is here, daughter Maddie. Doug's wife Maria is here, my brother Dave, and his wife Carol. And we got a whole bunch of third generation here as well. I think they're standing out in front here. Stand up, stand up. All the Van Andel and DeVos family.
You can wave your flags too.
That's okay. My brother said something last night about him being younger, and I just couldn't remember his name today.
I don't know what that means, Steve. What does that mean?
I'm not sure.
I don't know either. Well, if we're going to keep recognizing people, I would like to ask all the diamonds and above. Leadership in this business is so important. So for all the diamonds and above, could you please stand so we could recognize you? Diamonds and above, please. Stand up. Excellent. Now, if I could then ask the Founders Council members to remain standing, everyone else take a seat, but I'd like the Founders Council to remain standing so we can give special recognition to the Founders Council. Please, the lights up front. There they are, Founders Council members right here. You know, it was a little over, please, now you may take a seat. A little over 20 years ago, gosh, a bit over 20 years ago, when we felt it would be important to have a global group of leaders. In the early days of Founders Council, we had maybe 10 couples that were part of that early group. But look what has happened just for the attendees here and even more that join you around the world. Leadership is so important in this business, and because of your example of leadership, you've demonstrated through your business and through your life that anything is indeed possible, like this event today. So thank you.
Wow. What a group. Weren't those astronauts inspiring?
Yeah.
Anything is possible. Anything is possible. It kind of is, you think of it, it's the model that Dad and Rich had years ago when they started Amway. Anything is possible. They started in the basement. We're a global business today. Wow. Lots of change happened over those years. But you think about the confidence that they had when they started, the confidence they had towards the future in the business. I think that same confidence is here today as well. When we look at the strategy that Milland and Gahn have put together of innovation in both product and technology, looking at using the social networks to reach out and build communities of customers, all the different things that are happening. Tremendous confidence. And the family, I think, has commitment to that strategy, commitment to the strategy moving forward. But not only do the Van Andel and Oss families have commitment in the strategy, but also in the foundations of the past. The foundations that Dad and Rich put in the business of freedom, family, hope, and reward. Those are some of the things that they have confidence in. But I think back, like this year was our 60th anniversary, but I think back 10 years ago to our 50th anniversary. 50th anniversary, remember Dad had passed away a few years before that. And when we came to that celebration, we said, you know, we wanted to have Dad on stage with Rich. And so we actually went out and found somebody that produced a hologram of Dad and some of his previous speeches. It was about a 2-minute clip. I remember Rich came on stage and he gave a speech and he introduced Dad, and all of a sudden the hologram shows up and Dad gives a 2-minute talk. You could hear a pin drop in that entire arena when Dad, through a hologram, did that. But I remember one of the lines that he said. One of the lines he said was, "The future is more remarkable than we can ever imagine." And so, when we think about the future, we think about that strategy. We think about those foundations. We think about the strategy of things that change, the foundations of things that don't change. But we also think about the partnership that we have with all of you. Because our family's confidence in the future is because of the commitment we have towards the partnership with you, everyone in this room, every leader across Amway. So when I look at the future, that saying that Dad did 2 years ago in a hologram, but years before that, when he gave it himself, the future of Amway is more remarkable than we can ever imagine. That's where we are today.
You know, and I remember, Steve, so well when your dad said those words. I remember when he said it in the years past growing up, but to see him say that so forcefully again and those words being so true remained as powerful, just like Steve is repeating here today. And when we were together earlier this year with diamonds from around the world at A60, Steve and I reflected on a few things that we felt were going to be critical as we move forward, that we needed to retain, that needed to continue to be part of our DNA. Certainly the Founders' Fundamentals as our foundation. But there was, number one, this pioneering, adventurous spirit that was the hallmark of the past 60 years, was the hallmark of the Amway business that we had to continue to refresh, that innovation, that creativity, that curiosity. The second thing that we talked about was determination and the fact that we were never going to give up in the face of adversity. As we look to A70 and beyond, that we are going to be steadfast. We will stay strong, overcoming challenges and pursuing our goals. And the third thing we talked about was the fact that this is always going to be about people. The Amway business is a people business. We have great products, but you and I know that it takes people to make Amway work. And so as we reflect on those things as we gather today, we believe all three of those apply to you. You are here because of your curiosity, because of your pioneering spirit. We don't know each and every story of yours, but I'm sure there was somewhere where you took a step into the unknown, where you had to step out on faith, and you had fears that had to be overcome, and you took that step anyway. And that was part of your journey to be here because you believed that anything was possible. And in the Amway business, you took that step. And we're proud of you. Again, secondly, with such a big group here, we know you had challenges along the way, right? We know there was some obstacle that was in your way. There was something that you did not see in your future that was trying to hold you back. But you demonstrated the determination to move through it. You demonstrated the ability to overcome that challenge and that obstacle. And you're here today because you too were determined. When we talked at A60, we talked about a disaster we had at Amway headquarters when one of our manufacturing plants burned down. And I remember seeing Steve's dad, listening to Jay talk about it. And when he was asked, what are you going to do next? Jay looked right in the camera and said, we're going to build another one. We're going to move forward. We're not going to have that hold us back. And that's exactly what you do too. And the third element, again, is what you embody. And the leaders that we've asked to stand up, the Founders Council members, the Diamonds, and indeed, each and every person here, you know that you have committed yourself not just to you and your future, but you've committed yourself to those in your organization so that they can achieve their future. It's all about people for you. You get more excited when they qualify for something than even when you do. Because we've seen that. Our families have seen that throughout our history. You know it's all about people. And you continue to invest in people. And that is why the future of this business is so bright. Because we will continue to do that. You know, as we've talked together a lot of times, and for Steve and me and the work we've done with Millen and Gon and the executives and the team amongst the families, we're very clear. Steve talked about the foundations, the founders' fundamentals. We know who we are as Amway. We know who we are. We know why we do what we do, because we believe in you and you believe in people. We share that belief, right? We know who we are and we know why we do what we do. But we also know that how we do things is going to have to change in the future. And that's what we've been talking about. Millen's going to talk about that. We've been talking about that in small meetings in different markets because the solution in one market is different than another market. But the commitment that we have is to be there with you every step of the way. Right? We know that A60 was a milestone, a step on our journey. We know that this event is a milestone, a step on your journey to where you want to go in the future. And when we talk about A70, it's another step because we are going to continue to move forward, and we are going to continue to move forward together because we all know that in Amway, and when we work together, indeed, anything is possible. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Enjoy your time. Thank you. Thank you. Got this feeling in my body.
Ladies and gentlemen,